Hi there. Hi, everyone. Sayuri. Hey, Jeff. Oh, I feel like I'm on a bit of an angle again. Hey, Catherine. Hello, you lovely mum. Sorry, it's noisy because I'm in a very noisy place. Hang on tight, everyone, okay? Hang on tight because I'm just going to do a little adjustment here because I feel as though I'm not evenly balanced, which is always kind of true. I honestly think my gimbal is struggling. It's not Coder. Shalom. So Catherine is here. Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, can I just ask, because there's noise everywhere, can you hear? Hey, Chloe. Can you hear me okay? Thumbs up. Yeah, that's Mimi, are you here yet? Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we're all ready. There you are. We're already on time. Let me just put it in some perspective. Now, again, I am a metric baby. So it is 41 degrees Celsius. That's about 107 Fahrenheit. So if suddenly my phone cuts out, it is what it is. So um, if you haven't met me before, oh, there's some guys doing a video over here. So there. If you haven't met me before, my name's Patrick Toomey. And I'm going to, sorry, there's some guys doing a quick little video here. Check this out. Yeah, that's what it looks like to see. Oh, he's rapping. So, my name is Patrick Toomey, and I am not from here. I live up in the Canadian Rockies, of course, a long, long way away. Today, uh, everyone, there we go. Are you hearing the music? Great. It's okay. Yeah, thank you. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? The land of the free and the home, the brave. Espectacular. It's my day job, Lisa. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Nice to meet you. I'm going to be off. See you later. so, if, so I had Googled coming in. I had wanted to make this tour an hour later, and I'm sorry because I know I'm overlapping with someone, but I had read that it wasn't going to come on until 3. It actually came on a half hour ago as well. But I am here, ladies and gentlemen, in Las Vegas. So again, if you haven't met me before, my name is Patrick Toomey. I live high up in the Canadian Rockies. If you've ever taken a salmon out of the water and put on the ground and they do this, that's me here. I I I can give you geology, I can give you some history and everything, but I am in Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. Annie, I was hoping you were there because I knew you'd get that. So I am here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm standing in the shade because it is frankly so hot that I can barely tolerate it. I did take a picture. I meant to upload it. I'm sorry I didn't. The car said 41. I set it to Celsius because I don't understand Fahrenheit, but that's about 107. I also want to give a big shout out to our friend Mimi, who is part of our community. we were going to go for a walk today, and her alert came up that she was in close contact to someone with COVID, and so she's not here. But we were just chatting on the phone beforehand. So um, I am not pretending to be an expert in this place, right? But I do have to show you. That is where Caesar, who was actually the emperor of Rome, used to live. 105. There we are. If you ever watched the movie The Hangover, they actually asked that question at the beginning. Where he says, "I'm sure you get this a lot, but is this where he actually lived?" This is fantastic. But you need to give me a second here, everyone. Hang on tight. Close your eyes because we're going to do a to-me twist here. Hang on tight. And je voudrais vous souhaiter la bienvenue à Paris. On est ici just à côté de Paris. And I just thought, honestly, today, I'm in the Mojave Desert. So take a picture there, everyone. Hang on tight. So I am in the Mojave Desert. I am going to walk, and I'm happy to carry on. Oh, that's a good idea, actually. It's a great idea, Sayuri, because, I lived in Paris. I did part of my undergraduate, and I did a master's over there. Sorry, I'm just seeing this chat here from Carol. Oh, Carol, I'm so sorry. Carol, from all of us here, it is a big, big hug, and we're sending you as much love as possible. And I'm so sorry for you and your family. And part of the reason I know so many people come on these trips, of course, they come on for my brilliant knowledge and information, but really we come on because we've created a huge international community. And so thank you for feeling confident to share that with all of us, and lots of love. So Las Vegas is in the Mojave Desert. So today I left St. George, Utah, and I drove. You're good, thanks. Everyone is so friendly. It is just, I want to share this with people who aren't from this part of the world. 98% of people walking down the streets here are tourists, and everyone makes an effort to be kind and friendly. And there's 2% who are awful, of course, but look at this. So I'm out in front of the Bellagio. Look at this. Sorry, I'll do one. Well, let me see if it goes up again. I might do one more twist. I almost wonder if it had a little bit of an issue before because it was a bit short. There it is. It's fabulous. So, yeah, there. See if there's one more of the big fountains coming up. It is a big party, MD. By the way, everyone, that's my friend Mary Beth, who's so kind, offered me some ideas of places to stay. But of course, I went for the last minute deal of the cheapest room. State Farm is here today. Well, good question, Kelly. They have 18,000 people here. So if you let me get, and we're just going to have kind of fun on this walk. And if the whole thing overheats, it does what it does, and it shuts off. But no, Doreen, I'm not attending any shows. I never ever go to shows because, frankly, I am the show. It is so lovely at night, but I, I am staying down the road at the cheapest room I could find. But and nobody has to tip me. I'm just so happy to share this with you. Anyone who does will all be invested in Blackjack tonight. So that's going to be the whole. Hey, Dave, everyone, Dave Kavanagh is here from Ireland. We have a real celebrity in the house. Now we're gonna. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting some spray. The reason I've sort of placed myself here is I'm in a bit of shade. Say it's something like 105 degrees Fahrenheit, 41, 42 Celsius. It is so crazy hot that I'm pretty sure the phone will overheat. So Las Vegas was only incorporated in 1911. This is, if there is an example on planet Earth, Joanne, of course I am. That's how I eat, and that's how I gamble. Does anyone, are you still hearing me fine? Because there's a lot of noise around me. Because I can move away. Great. So Las Vegas is truly one of these places. If you build it, they will come. Now, we can talk about the long-term environmental impact of this sort of development, and we should have that conversation. Lake Mead is virtually done. Lake Powell is virtually. Dave, I'm a 2-17 guy, pal. But between the four of us, we'd have a 4 in 37 chance if you don't play zero, right? but it is, but what is incredible, right or wrong, it is a testament to human ingenuity. We are here, and they have made water flow up in the desert. Christine, I really toyed with putting on an evening tour on Fremont Street, but we're so far into the summer here that I wasn't going to drive down there. And I wasn't going to drive down there. They have the crazy mayor here, Tanya, who had said, will be your testing ground for COVID. But at the end of the day, really, and just think a lot of Americans, obviously not all, but a lot of my American friends, and I've worked in tourism for so many years, so many of my clients over the years are Americans. One of the big differences between the American market, not the Japanese, very similar, but the American market and say the European market is because people have very short vacation times, they tend to spend more per day. And that's where a place like Vegas, because frankly, if you're going to be on the strip here and not like people who live here, and I was chatting with Mimi before the tour. I have one friend, one guy I worked with here, and let's go walking, everyone. And we'll do the best we can. I can't show you a great deal because of the distances and everything, but really, lifestyle is great, and it was extremely affordable once upon a time. Greater Vegas is about 2.2 million people. We're down in the southern end here of Nevada, and yes, Roberts is welcoming everyone, which is so lovely. And many of you will have memories here, of course. If you're absolutely totally new here, of course, this is Hago, and Hago is live. This is not my normal environment. I'm generally surrounded by snow and ice and mountains. Although the mountains, so I left St. George this morning. I drove down to the canyon, this corner of Arizona, and I have to tell you, I set the speed, the cruise control on the vehicle. Now, I'm not a real speeder because I care a lot about wildlife and the environment and so forth, but I set the speed control because one time I flew in here with my friend Rod, who came on the tour yesterday. We flew in here because this is our easy airport, and we were heading to Zion to go climb. And when you cross the border into Arizona, the speed limit drops. Well, I got pulled over speeding, and I got a ticket, and then I lost the ticket. So I never actually paid my speeding ticket in Arizona. So I thought I probably passed the statute of limitations, and I thought, and I didn't even have to pay it. That's a lot to do it online. So I would have done. Thanks, Helen. I didn't see it. Helen, this is about as close as I'm getting down to Tucson at the moment. So hugs to you all the way from here. I'm gonna try and hang around anytime I get into the shade. There's the Arc de Triomphe. It's very triumphal. That's the real one, right? They've done a copy of it in Paris, but it's pretty. If you have good eyes in the distance, John, I am with you. Well, from the Canadian Rockies as well, we share that. But so and honestly, I'm happy to get into the history. And but I thought I might just share it just because we have this time together, and I feel as though the phone is going to overheat in this incredible heat. But I thought I might just share some of my experience and why I sort of have a relationship with the city. So obviously, I live straight north of here, but it is a good nearly 3 hour flight up to Calgary and then home. So I mean, I live a long way. Katie, I'm not going to tell anyone, but I'm staying down the road in one that I got a cheap deal in. So that's the best I could do for everyone. But I have stayed at the Bellagio for a birthday party. But I used to do tours here, believe it or not. Isoka, hi there, big hugs to you. Yeah, you know what? I need to put the shades on my phone, Dave. I actually wrote to Alex in Australia one time about how he deals with the heat. And he does. It's just such an investment for me living more in the cold. But I have been traveling here. So I first drove down here from the University of Calgary, with my good friend Justin. Anna Marie, is it your birthday? Hold on. Is that? It is very expensive, Laura. Anna Marie, is it your birthday? D-Day à Jean de Pays. C'est à ton tour de te laisser parler d'amour. Everyone, Anna Marie has been with us right from the beginning, is lovely, warm, kind, and lives in London, Ontario. Happy birthday. I'm sorry I missed my date. And I do know I haven't actually acknowledged, I'll come back to our tour in a second. I haven't really acknowledged D-Day, but my Canadian grandfather, not my Irish, my Canadian grandfather landed on Juno Beach a day after. So he landed on the 7th of June. They went north to the Netherlands, and he was a captain in the Canadian Army. And he actually walked in on the German side of the border to a concentration camp. And keep in mind, we have Jewish roots on that side of the family. So that was quite moving. But Anna Marie, happy birthday to you. So lovely to have you here. Now I'm in the shade, so it's not perhaps the best view I can offer you, but it is the Bellagio. So this is truly a case. Just come back to the point. This is a case of if you build it, they will come. They built these casinos. Nevada itself has always been really kind of, wild's the wrong word, but it's a mining state. Carson City's the capital. Elko up north. I know, John. Yep. Uh, Carson City's up north. That's the capital up north a little ways, and then it goes right down to a point. So we're in the Mojave Desert. So because I know the strip so well, and I'll come back to my experiences here, but if we drive straight out there, that's where you lead to the fabulous Las Vegas line and the I-15, which actually goes right up to the Alberta border, and then it comes all the way down to Los Angeles. And so I came in from the other way down here, but the strip is massive. If you would like to start to invest in the strip, to build a hotel here is $1 billion if you want to get into the game. I mean, that's $1 billion. That's how you, for about the last 18 or 20 years, not been the biggest gambling city in the world. Can anyone tell me an actual volume of money and people what the biggest gambling city on planet Earth is? Okay, I have seen the monorail, yeah, over down by the Hilton and the Convention Center. Uh, Not Monaco, nope, Macau. You got it, Mimi. Macau. It's still the Harris Group. There's really three cooperatives that basically own the whole thing. Winds is down the road. I knew walking, there's only so much I'm going to show you, so obviously I'm just not even going to kind of fight the battle. I'm going to just stick in this area here. But the fact that you get to see, Paris in all its glory, I mean, so just to come back to a little bit of my own life history. So I drove down here from university with my friend Justin. We had saved up money and we studied and learned how to play blackjack. And we stayed at Circus for about $35 per room. And we were going to pay for our whole trip. And within an hour, we had lost about $150, which to us at that time was about $1,000,000. And so then we camped for the rest of our trip. That was the end of our gambling and Vegas experience. But then I started coming back here with actual tours. And I worked for a British company that if I name it out loud, I'll say bad things about it. So I'm not going to. But in the later 90s, about 97. So I was super young. I was like 12. But they would fly me down here and I would meet a group and we would all stay in Stratosphere. That's the big tower down in the distance. And we'd stay in Stratosphere, and then I would travel 3 days here, and then we'd travel down to Palm Springs, Los Angeles, and up to San Francisco. So about 9 days. Is Jo on here? She knows all about that. I met my great friend Ian Hayward, and I'll hold it back because he helped me through everything. He was originally from Ipswich in Australia, just outside Brisbane. And he took me under his arm and gently talked me through everything. Jo knows him as well. And he died way too young a few years ago, but he had married a fabulous woman from San Francisco. So that was kind of our connection here. And so I did tours here. And then one time with the company that Jo and I used to work for, I spent 10 days here. Now, 10 days here, if you're not in Mimi's house with a nice swimming pool and out in the suburbs, is a little bit like going for a massage where they don't stop needling you for 3 days because I checked in to the Stratosphere. And of course, whenever I'd arrive here, it's so much fun. Hop in a cab from the airport, come down, I'd play a little blackjack. People were smoking, so I'd cough and my eyes would water. And by day 3, I was kind of done. So I finished a tour here. Then I actually did a tour where I wasn't really a guide so much as a coordinator, a 6-day tour, and then I picked up another group and headed into California. So I do have a relationship with the place. Like everyone on earth, I have been here for a wedding. My friend Bruce B., who once in a while shows up on these tours, was married here, and we went down to one of the chapels, and Elvis came and danced, and of course that's not feasible anymore. So anyway, that's a bit of my history here. But when I used to do these tours here in this part of the world, it was great fun because people are just overwhelmed by it. And then when we would, the dunes, well, Sam's was further down, right? When you get back to some of that old stuff. When you drive west from here, you drive out about maybe about 45 minutes or an hour, no, 45 minutes to the California border. Then you get into the true Mojave Desert. Some of the hottest temperatures I have there, some of the hottest temperatures ever recorded in the United States. And it's amazing given that California is the most populous state in the United States, 38, 39 million people. And you drive through absolutely nothing until you descend down Cajon Pass after Bakersville and you get down to that mass of Los Angeles and all that. It is remarkable how empty it is. So, oh, did you, Jane? I know lots of people are telling stories. Listen, everyone, I'm back in the shade here, and please do share your stories with each other. There's only so much I can see because it's so hot that my screen keeps going dark on me. Um, but what I thought I might do is take you over the overpass here. I cannot go into any of the casinos, and it's funny because I asked me before I came here. I know you can't film in the actual casinos, but the entrances are great. However, they have it so well. Oh, Tracy, let me tell you a story in a minute. But they keep it so well moderated because they don't want people on the phones, they want them gambling. As soon as I walk in the door, I drop from 5 bars to one. Such a good system. But there is Caesar's Palace. So if you need a little bit of Roman history, there you go. Yeah, it is so well managed. So Tracy, again, I was talking the other day. Penny, I honestly don't know the answer to that. Mimi will know. But when we rafted the Grand Canyon, we rafted it in August, and so all we did was swim in the river every day because it was so hot. But when you got up to the high edges, it was cooler. And then we drove out to here, and it's the only time I've done a true marathon drive because as much as this is fun here, my buddy and I were done. We had been 17 nights in the Grand Canyon, and we actually passed around Vegas, as tempting as it is, and drove all the way home. Now, way in the distance is the Rio. The Rio's a really interesting one because the Rio out there is one of the really high-end or higher-end hotels that's off the Strip. And the Strip is a very complicated business environment. The Mafia is gone. And some of you have heard some of these stories in the past. But there's a great line. I mean, there's two things. Corruption, of course. I'm going to go up the stairs here and give you some views, everyone. But it's so funny. It's so healthy. Yeah, many of you have been to so many shows. I'm not a huge show person, but obviously Cirque du Soleil, I saw a sign for Shania Twain, so I was going to go up and say, hey, I've got friends in Timmins, but she wouldn't have given me a free pass, I don't think. But when you come out here, the whole connection, of course, is it's all about sort of 3 days, 4 days of pure party and excess, and you see it everywhere. But let's go. I'm just gonna let the phone cool down for a second here, and then I'm gonna head over to the fountains. But it is honestly so hot, everyone. But you all remember, so this has some of the statistics, the most hotel rooms of any place on earth. This is the number one conference city on planet Earth. But just coming back to my point about the Mafia. Was the Mafia involved? Absolutely. Why is the Mafia gone? I'm sorry, the chat's going by so quickly. Why has the Mafia disappeared? Well, the Mafia in New York, fundamentally disappeared because of minimum wage. Quite literally. If you were suddenly paid enough that you could pay your mortgage or pay for your home or have a good meal, then why did you need to go out at 2 a.m.? Now, Lake Mead in the distance, and I don't want to always focus on this, but it is relevant to Vegas. Lake Mead is lowering so much that this will be a huge challenge, just like it will be for Phoenix and Tucson down where Helen is. Scary for, well, it is maybe. I mean, we shouldn't be 2.5 million people living in a place with no water, right? It is a reality. And exactly, bodies are coming up. They're finding those Mafia hits. And you know what? We can romanticize it, but it was awful. Any of that violence, I am a lifetime dedicated pacifist. And the idea that violence should be sort of converted into business is just shocking, right? Now, I'm super out in the sun right now. See, it's still my own. I've got a 60 sunscreen all over, and it keeps running into my eyes. I am flying home tomorrow, not till about 1 o'clock. I'm flying to Vancouver. But it was funny. I just couldn't get actually a decent direct flight home, which is pretty rare. Um, but then, so minimum wage came in, started to end the mafia. And then big business understood that these billion-dollar investments here are hugely profitable, even if you declare everything honestly. So why do you need to not declare? These are legal businesses in a state where it's legal. They have gambling anonymous, but that's about it. It's really about gambling. Now, you don't get the same freebies that you used to get. So many people have these images of this place as being, everything's free. That's not true anymore. Um, and if you sit down, and gamble, you can get a drink. But by the way, if you ever do come here and you'd like to drink and have fun, make sure you tip the people. Minimum wage here is about $9.50, and the cost of living is still lower than Los Angeles or New York or places like that, but it's expensive. Look at this complex. Now, one of the challenges, I'm not going to be able to show you the other end. One of the architectural, and as many of you know, I'm a nerd for architecture. I'm a nerd for most things, actually. But one of the challenges is that if you're going to build a hotel, basically you need windows, right? Very few people want to be in a room without a window. So even though this place experiments with architecture basically more than any other place on earth, I'm open to interpretation. I think Shanghai does as well. But your one challenge is your hotels still have to be that kind of building shape because people need windows either side, right? That's just fundamentally. So there's one hotel that bucked the trend here, and many of you know it. I won't show it on this tour just because I can't walk that far, but it's the Luxor. It's the one built like the pyramid, has the big beam of light that comes out at night. So they built a pyramid, which means you could only build rooms around the outside. Now, people don't do this. Um, Yes, you do, Mimi. um, but sorry, I'm shade for a second because of the heat. So yeah, the Luxor is so. I mean, I've already messaged my friend Leslie and told her like I don't need to go to Egypt. I've been to Paris and now I'm in Rome. I mean, it's just so easy to go around the world when you're here. But I know it's so funny, isn't it? Now they've gone through, and this is a true business city just by definition, right? And so they go through these ebbs and flows. Do you remember for a while they went for the real family